Hi, JamesAnimalHarrison. It's time for Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to continue down the path of tips for school jazz band drummers. And the first thing I want to say, and I mentioned this before, but every school jazz band drummer of any kind, college, junior high, high school, whatever, should buy or own or listen to the album Basie Straight Ahead. There is nothing better out there to learn how to play big band drumming, to know when to fill, how to fill, the dynamic levels, how to kick, how to punch. There's nothing better, and every tempo is covered on that album, every feel of playing swing. With brushes, with sticks, and everything. It's just a great jazz big band album, and something everybody can learn from. The drummer is Harold Jones. Definitely one of my favorite drummers, and definitely one of my favorite albums. Now, we've covered a lot of different things. We've talked about ensemble figures. We've talked about visual things you may see, about how to learn how to, I guess I call it jazz shorthand and stuff like that. Today we're just going to talk about a couple of things. And the first thing I want to say is, and I was guilty of this myself, when we learn to do certain things, we always want to do those things, even if they don't fit in the right spot. So the first thing is, when you're doing a fill or a kick, you don't need to show off. Just drive the band and make it simple for them to understand what you're doing and how you're coming out of it. All right? So the first thing is just be really solid on your endings. So remember, you're setting up a figure that an entire big band, usually to your left, is going to be playing, coming in on, and you don't want them to be wondering where the fill ends or how it ends or something like that. So the number one thing is make sure you have a definite, solid ending that sets up a punch with the big band to come in. Now, something I like to do, I call it the Basie rule. Nobody else called it that. I called it that because I noticed so much of it in that album, Basie Straight Ahead. So just even in that song, Basie Straight Ahead, which is the opening tune on the album, you can learn so much. But the one thing is, I say if the band comes in on an upbeat, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, do bop, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, do bop, bop, bop. You want to end a fill. To me, I like to do it where I end on 1 on the snare and then punch with the cymbals and the bass drum together on the upbeats. Now, depending on the length of the note will determine if I'm using a hi-hat, a short sound, or a long sound. But my main thing is, if the band comes in on an upbeat, and I'm talking about the whole band, like 1, 2, 3, 4, bow, 1, 2, 3, 4, bow, bow, something like that. I like to do something that ends in the hands and punches with the feet and the cymbal. So if I'm doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, do ah, ah, ah. I will do something like that. It doesn't need to be fancy. I could do something more. Okay? If you need a whole measure, you can do something like that. But I like to have ba-da, ah, ah, ah. Something like that. The whole band goes ba-da, ah. They get it. I'm not sneaking into it. I'm making it obvious. Okay? So that's something I like to do a lot. What you put in front of that fill is up to you, as long as you know how to come out of it. You can do triplets, you can do paradiddles work very well. Just realize you have to do a form of the paradiddle that fits in there rhythmically, okay? And all the inversions work and stuff like that, paradiddle inversions, if you know the right rhythm to play. If the band comes in on a beat, so let's say they're coming in on beat 2 now instead of an upbeat. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to end in my foot and then come in with the backbeat, because the backbeat is usually 2 and 4, with the hands and the cymbals together. The bucket of fish fill is a single stroke 4. Bucket of fish. Okay? I'm going to orchestrate that on the kit as all right? 1, 2, 3, bucket of fish, 2, and then punch that 2. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay? I like to do that a lot. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Classic Basie fill. Another one of my favorite fills of Count Basie is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It seems so obvious, but it works so well. Okay, quarter notes. It doesn't have to be as many notes as you can cram in there. So the bucket fill works great. Doing a roll and hitting that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that. Roll that. A 5-stroke roll. Here's a triplet. Here's a paradiddle with the extra note. You do that 1, 2, 3. So I think you get my point. I can go on and on and on, but the point is I like to do, if a fill sets up an entrance on an upbeat, I like to end it in the hands, punch the upbeat with my foot and a cymbal. Shorter sound, a hi-hat or a splash if it's not a long note. If the band makes an entrance on the beat, and I'm talking about like a big hit, I like to punctuate that with the hands and the cymbals and end the fill on the beat. 1, 2, 3, jugga boom. That's just a fill, 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be a fill. Any of that could be a fill. Just make it very obvious, make it very plain, and make it to where the band understands where to come in. A lot of times people count, but a lot of times they don't, and they're relying on you to set it up for them to make it easy. So there's a quick tip for Tuesday. Listen to the Basie album Straight Ahead, steal some of those ideas, and use them as fills, and make it obvious where the band has to come in.